Hello folks, and welcome back to another episode of Wheels of Mercury. This time, it's an album review of one of the most important metal bands of my life, Deafheaven, with their 2025 album, Lonely People with Power.
Deafheaven? You mean that awful screamo band with the pink album cover that looks like a Pepto-Bismol commercial?
Oh God. You again?
Ah! That's not black metal! Yeah, this is poser crap. It's poser crap. It's like awful screamo garbage. That's not black metal. Just for posers who listen to NPR and watch Pitchfork reviews or listen to Pitchfork reviews. I don't know what the heck Pitchfork does anymore. I've been listening to Satanic War Master. That's real black metal.
I tell you what, why don't you stop wasting my time and go outside and stand in the rain and listen to your crappy Finnish black metal, okay?
Okay, you want me to stand out in the rain to listen to the new Satanic War Master album I've been listening to since December? Alright, I'll do it.
Go. Get out of here. Anyways, for the uninitiated, Deafheaven were and are one of the leaders of the blackgaze subgenre, which is a portmanteau of black metal and shoegaze mixed together. Lonely People with Power is their 6th studio album, and they broke out onto most people's radars back in 2013 with the release of Sunbather. You see, Sunbather, while not their best record in my honest opinion, had an enormous impact on me in terms of getting me into the wider world of black metal. Before then, I was quite literally scared of the genre as a young teenager because I had heard about the murders and crimes associated with the second wave scene in Norway before I heard a single note of the music. Sunbather changed that for me. Not only was the album cover more inviting with its now iconic pink cover, but the lyrics were far more emotional and interesting than the typical satanic, dark fantasy, or pagan themes of typical black metal. Plus, they look like normal people, and not like goofballs and corpse paint, which for me at the time was a plus. However, I would since begin to appreciate the more campy, theatrical, satanic aspects of black metal in due time, but I'm getting off track here. The point is, Sunbather really kicked down the door for me to get into black metal, and I've been a fan of Deafheaven ever since. I've seen them live several times between the years of 2014 and 2016, and those concerts were often at the Opera House in Toronto. Their follow-up album, New Bermuda, is one of my favorite albums of all time, not just in metal, but in music as a whole. And I actually really enjoyed Infinite Granite, in my honest opinion. I don't know why some people were so up in arms about it. If Alistair can go pure shoegaze and get away with it, then why can't Deafheaven? I didn't end up getting around to Ordinary Corruption Love back when it came out, and honestly, I don't really know why to this day, but I learned to appreciate it later on, especially that amazing duet between Deafheaven vocalist George Clark and Chelsea Wolfe called Night People. What a song that was. Now, with this new album, the band has decided to take all of what they have done up to this point and put it all on one album. And it paid off. Big freaking time. After the first of 3 incidental interludes, Doberman kicks the album off, with vocalist George Clark doing his usual trademark screaming and shrieking over this song. This opener really is killer with the blast beat in the second half that is just transcendental. Magnolia was the lead-off single, and what a freaking crazy song to give people a first taste of this album. Huge Spectral Wound vibes throughout that one. The Garden Route is like taking the style from Infinite Granite and combining it with the rage and melancholy of a song like Gifts for the Earth, the closer off of New Bermuda. Heathen was the second pre-release single, and this song has the most in common with Infinite Granite sound-wise. It's like the darker and moodier follow-up to a song like Mombasa off of that album, but like condensed. Instead of being 8 minutes like Mombasa was, this one's like 4 or 5 minutes. Amethyst is an incredibly dynamic song. It starts off very ethereal before building to an intense finish with some amazing double bass kick from Dan Tracy. He did an awesome job on this album on drums, by the way. The second incidental interlude that features vocals from Jay Matthews of Boy Harsher fame is beautifully placed. And the blaring wall of noise in the second half of it reminds me of something Merzbow would have come up with. Insanely cinematic, and if I'm being completely honest, should be used in a trailer for an indie horror film. Like something from like A24. Revelator, in my honest opinion, is the best freaking song on the record. What a song! It's got insane amounts of energy, and I cannot wait to see the mosh pit when they play this. It's gonna be freaking wild. The quiet part and the suddenness actually remind me of something that maybe the constructed language black metal band Torah would do. And dare I say that this is one of the best black metal songs of 2025? Oh my goodness, what a freaking song. Body Behavior has this post-punk feel that sort of reminds me of a heavier and more grislier version of the Dutch blackened post-punk band Roer het Lied, who, by the way, released a great record last year. Go check that one out if you want like a combination of Sweet Scene the Banshees and Alcest. It's awesome. Anyways, the third incidental interlude features spoken word from Paul Banks of the post-punk revival band Interpol, and it has the feel of film trailer music once again, this time feeling more appropriate for something that Terrence Malick would direct. Winona, the penultimate song, has spots that call back to Sunbather, specifically the beginning of it reminding me of Dreamhouse. In fact, the whole song could be a Lost Sunbather B-side in a great way. And this segues seamlessly into The Marvelous Orange Tree, the closer, which has a lot of influence from Infinite Granite mixed with Sunbather and a bit of The Cure in the bass lines. Well, I'm not sure about that comparison entirely, because every time I hear a melodic bass part in music nowadays, I either think of The Cure or Joy Division. By the way, the bassist, Chris Johnson is his name, even sings a little bit on this song as well. This is a freaking incredible album that pulls the best of all of Deafheaven's strengths and focuses on them tremendously, creating an album that flows so incredibly well. For that reason, and many others stated beforehand in this review, I am giving this new Deafheaven album a rare 4.5 out of 5. One of the best albums of the year so far. And if I'm being honest here, might become one of the best of the 2020 so far upon more listen. Yeah, I said it. It's that great. That's a wrap for this Deafheaven review. What did you guys think of Lonely People with Power? Let me know down below in the comments. If you would like to hit like and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, that would be amazing. It would help me out so much in the algorithm. Thank you so much if you do that. Rock on, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.